Right now at 7, after 17 months of investigation, the NTSB is meeting to decide who or what is to blame for last year's Alaska Airlines door plug blowout over Portland. Thomas Schultz joins us with the latest. Plus, how an excavator from a construction site was stolen and used to take out a bank ATM.
Burn bans now in effect across the region, why officials say they're worried about potential fire risks come the 4th of July. Sunrise, streaming live at 7, starts right now. That's weird.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 on your Tuesday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Rodney Hill standing by as well. Rod, what do you got for us?
This is rapidly becoming my favorite streaming hour, by the way. It seems so reasonable to be here at 7 o'clock. Talking to you at home. Our sky camera down in Salem. We have clouds at the beach. We have some clouds up in Cowlitz County. The rest of us are waking up to sun, and I think we'll keep it. So much of today is just going to be gorgeous. There's our state capital, of course, 59 degrees. Temperatures are running a little ahead of 24 hours ago. We're looking at I-5 northward. There's the Moda Center and the Convention Center from our Rose City camera. Sitting at 60. Winds are calm. We'll be sunny all morning, 69 at noon. I have today's high getting up to 83. Eventually, there will be some cloudiness increasing, and then those clouds will lead into a cloudy day tomorrow. So if you like it sunny and warm, this is your day. Back to you.
Thank you, Rod. Your time now is 7:01. A heads up for you drivers. This Sunday, the Hawthorne Bridge will be closed to all vehicles, pedestrians, and cyclists from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. But expect lane closures on the bridge throughout the week as crews prepare for Sunday's maintenance work.
A National Transportation Safety Board hearing got underway 30 minutes ago. Today's meeting is all about trying to come to final conclusions as to what went wrong on that door plug blowout over Portland a year and a half ago. Preliminary reports found 4 retaining bolts were missing from the panel.
A Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is watching that meeting and joins us from the newsroom. So Thomas, what have you heard so far?
Well, China and Drew, the NTSB is giving us a closer look at what it was like on that flight when the door plug blew out. That plane was 16,000 feet in the air, and crew members believed initially that they had actually lost passengers. It wasn't until they landed back on the ground that they realized everybody was safely accounted for. 8 people did suffer minor injuries. One passenger's shirt was actually ripped off of his body by the force of the wind once that door plug blew out of the plane. The captain also called this, quote, an explosive experience. The first officer called it chaos. NTSB Chairwoman Jennifer Hamady says it's only due to the flight crew. This incident wasn't worse.
Frankly, it's nothing short of a miracle that no one died or sustained serious physical injuries.
Now, a lot of attention throughout this investigation has been placed at the feet of Boeing after an NTSB preliminary report found 4 bolts to secure the door plug were missing after the aircraft underwent repair work at a Boeing factory in Renton, Washington. Since then, Boeing has faced a flurry of lawsuits from passengers injured or scarred during this flight. Hamady says Boeing leadership has done lots of work since the accident to improve procedures, though adds there's still plenty of challenges this company still has to address. And while Boeing has been at the center of this door plug blowout incident, NTSB leadership says they are not the only ones at fault.
An accident like this only happens when there are multiple system failures.
Now, one of those agencies that's also under the microscope right now is the Federal Aviation Administration. Hamady says she has questions about where the FAA was during this incident. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us in the newsroom this morning. Meanwhile, we have an update on a story we covered last Friday. Police say they have arrested the man accused of shooting at officers and leading them on a chase last Friday morning in Southeast Portland. The man's name is one of the most memorable details of the story. He goes by the name Looney Tune. U.S. Marshals found Tune in Sandy yesterday afternoon and called in the SWAT team to help with the arrest. Last Friday, Milwaukee police say they tried to pull him over, but instead, they say the Tune ran into a patrol car, then took off, firing shots at officers while they chased him. Tune already had an outstanding warrant, so his new charges include attempted murder.
A bank in Clackamas is dealing with quite a bit of damage after a thief used an excavator to rip out a drive-through ATM and steal the cash inside. But turns out the excavator was stolen from a construction site near the U.S. Bank on Sunnyside. The construction company says that the thief had to have some sort of experience or they wouldn't have been able to turn the equipment on or know how to operate it. Now it's dealing with a damaged excavator and a shut down work site.
Yeah, we're definitely behind not only with the schedule, but just with the equipment costs and the replacement that it's going to be to get a new piece of equipment in.
We're working to find out if the sheriff's office has a suspect or suspects.
Portland police tell us they pulled over 20 people and made 3 arrests during a street racing crackdown this past weekend. They say they also towed away 4 cars. Oregon's new reckless driving law lets the state take and potentially keep any vehicle used in street racing.
Late last night, a crash created a major backup on I-84 near the Lloyd district. This video is from about 10:30. ODOT closed down 3 of the westbound lanes on I-84 for nearly 2 hours. Police say that there were 2 vehicles involved in this crash. One rolled over, and it appears that the second car left the scene. 1 person was taken to the hospital. No word on their condition.
There were also 2 serious crashes involving motorcycles in North Portland last night. They happened within a couple of hours of each other. The first was on North Greeley near the Adidas headquarters just before 7 o'clock, but only the motorcyclist was involved in this one. They went to the hospital with serious injuries. The second crash happened at 9:30. That's when a motorcyclist crashed into a semi-truck at North Columbia and Fisk Avenue. This motorcyclist later died at the hospital. The driver of the truck remained at the scene and is cooperating with investigators. Police believe the motorcyclist lost control after hitting a set of railroad tracks, and that speed was also a factor. An inmate work crew recently rescued a hiker who broke their ankle on the Kings Mountain Trail in the Tillamook State Forest. The Oregon Department of Corrections posted these photos on Facebook. They say a 10-man crew at the South Fork prison camp responded to the call to help a hiker who had broke their ankle. The team, hiking and working alongside fire crews, safely carried that injured hiker back to the trailhead. Now, you may remember back in May, inmates at that same prison camp helped save a man who had a diabetic emergency. The inmates at the camp get CPR training and say they know how to operate an AED.
The Bird Alliance of Oregon says it's seeing a surge in injured animals, and because of capacity issues, the Alliance is temporarily reducing intake hours at its wildlife care center. The new hours are 1 to 5 p.m. instead of the usual 9 to 5. So if you find an animal outside of those intake hours, you can call the wildlife hotline at 503-292-0304.
But we have folks working up to 12, even more hours a day, answering and returning those calls as soon as possible. So usually within the hour or less. And we'll give you more instructions on how to best set those animals up. And there's also a lot of information on the website about what to do if you find an animal.
They can't pinpoint why there's been an increase in injured animals, but the Bird Alliance did tell us that spring and summer are usually their 2 busiest seasons. Headed over to Rod Hill at 7:07. Take a look at your weather.
Yeah, hi everybody. The one spot that's not getting the sun, actually there's 2 spots, but this is the biggest spot, would be the coast. All of the cameras showing cloudy skies this morning. Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City, and with cloudiness increasing later this afternoon, you folks may not get the sun today. You're at 54 degrees. I haven't seen reports of any mist or drizzle out there, but there might be some pockets of it around, so FYI on that. Inland, we are generally sunny. It's still a thin cloud deck up in Kelso Longview, but that will probably be gone in the next couple of hours. Out south of Cowlitz County, we're all sunny. Here's the vineyard from the Chehalem Tasting Room in Sherwood. It's 56 degrees. There's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha looking out to the west. Beautiful sunny morning, light wind, 60 degrees. Obviously a really nice morning to be outside just strolling or working or playing or whatever your plans are. The clouds in 57 in Kelso won't last long this morning. 60 out in the Dalles, clear skies there. It's clear in central and eastern areas this morning as well. Burns, good morning, 48 is your current temperature. Some of the numbers, many of them are already starting to warm up now in the 7 o'clock hour. Mostly sunny for the valley. Cloudiness increasing later today. Light winds. Salem gets up to about 84 degrees. We'll be closer to 60 with the cloud cover at the beach, 87 to 90 out in the Dalles, 85 in Madras, 91 expect in Pilton. No alerts for fire danger or anything today, so just a nice day to be out recreating. Some warmer spots, obviously. 7-day forecast, 83 today. Yesterday was 82. Now tomorrow we have clouds, maybe a touch of moisture from those clouds, 70 or cooler, similar Thursday. Friday the sun pops back, 75, 80s this weekend. And I think Monday, if I'm right, is the final day of June, 92 degrees. If we make it, it will be our third 90-something degree day this month, and that's your update.
You are correct, Rod. June 30th is on Monday.
Okay. Yeah.
Quick look at traffic. Highway 26, the cars closest to the bottom of your screen there, that's the eastbound traffic heading into downtown Portland on Highway 26. Really smooth sailing at this hour, which is great to see. Here's some other drive times we're keeping an eye on. We've got 2 on the board for you, including the slowdown right now. The slow spot, I-5 south from Main Street to 405. Cars down to 27 miles an hour, and that's now an 18-minute drive.
Burn bans are now in effect across Oregon. Why officials say that they are worried about potential fire risk come the 4th of July. And as we move into summer, we're telling you ways that you can save on energy costs. Don't go anywhere. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
With wildfire season underway, burn bans are in effect at this point all across the region.
Fireworks sales also started yesterday in Oregon. Here's Catherine Cook with more.
Burn bans abounding in the Portland metro. On Monday, they took effect across parts of Washington, Multnomah, and Yamhill counties and the city of Portland.
Everything is pretty green right now, but we have a lot of fuels that are going to soon be drying out, and those fuels are perfect and ripe for burning.
Rick Graves with Portland Fire and Rescue says everyone should recognize that metro areas like Portland are at risk for major fires under a lot of different circumstances.
We just need to look back to January and the Los Angeles basin and the tremendous fires that occurred then.
The burn bans vary by county, but generally prohibit recreational campfires, fire pits, burning yard debris, and agricultural burning. Under the bans, you can still use barbecues and smokers. If you're using charcoal, just make sure to dispose of the ashes in a metal container.
And all it takes is an errant spark from your backyard, a fire pit, or even a grill that can get things going, and we could have some devastation right at our footsteps.
The burn ban coincides with Portland's fireworks ban, which took effect in 2022. The year before that, 3 people were killed in a Northeast Portland apartment fire after investigators say someone inappropriately disposed of used fireworks in a dumpster.
We recognize that fireworks just simply aren't safe for personal use.
Bigger picture, the state fire marshal shared this warning with those planning to burn legal fireworks, which went on sale in Oregon Monday.
Our message is simple today. We want you to be safe, protecting both people, property, and certainly our natural landscapes. That means using fireworks responsibly and understanding those risks.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
And in Clark County, fireworks go on sale on Saturday. That's including a lot of items that are illegal in Oregon, meaning if you light them here, you could face a $2,500 fine. For more information on firework rules in Oregon, text the word fireworks to that number on your screen, 503-226-5088, and we'll text you back a link to the Oregon State Fire Marshal's website. As we get into the summer months, a common question comes up when trying to balance staying cool and saving money. What temperature should you set your air conditioning at? Well, the U.S. Department of Energy recommends setting your AC between 75 and 78. That's during the day, and increase the temperatures by 7 degrees when no one is home. If you are looking for more ways to save money and stay cool, draw the blinds to keep out the sunlight and make sure that your ceiling fans are running counterclockwise. Clean or replace AC filters and perform an energy audit by looking for gaps and cracks around windows and doors that can be sealed.
I mean, around here, you are still in luck if you live in a shaded area, right? I mean, trees make all the difference because we grew up on the East Coast and the Midwest, and it did not matter if you had shade or not. Humidity was a killer in the shade or in the sunshine. Here, at least, if you can get out of the sun, you are spared a bit.
And even on our hottest 116 days, it's still reasonably comfortable at night and first thing in the morning, which you also don't get in the humidity factors. Right. I always thought sometimes it seemed worse at 10 o'clock at night in Missouri than it did in the morning.
Yeah, something about walking outside when it's dark and having that sticky feeling. It's like, this doesn't seem right.
So we are blessed, but our summers are getting hotter. There's reason to believe, by the way, that we will in fact have no less than 10 90-degree days in July. Again, I just started looking at the latest summer trends yesterday. We'll have more on that coming up a little bit later this week, which means I've got 3 more days to figure this out. Here's a look at our Timberline Lodge sky camera. Just gorgeous weather. There's the Palmer Snowfield, and there's the summit. Beautiful, beautiful. Air mass was warmed. Very little difference in temperature really from the valley to the mountain this morning. At 6,000 feet is 53 degrees. Blue sky, just a gorgeous morning. That's the West Hills, of course, the camera. Atop Providence Park looking in that direction. It is, well, we're not reporting a temperature on that site right now, but I will tell you it's in the 50s, even 60 out there in Portland currently. Here are some of the, I like the early morning shadows from the trees. Indian Creek Golf Course out in Hood River. Beautiful sunny day as well. Light winds in the gorge this morning, but westerlies will pick up this afternoon for you folks, at least 10 to 20 in the Hood River Valley. There's the 60 out of PDX and the Dow, 62 in Pendleton. Salem just about the same at 59. Bend this morning waking up to sunshine and 55. We do have overcast skies at the coast. There's a thin layer of overcast skies up in Kelso Longview that will be going away literally at any moment. Here's a look at our futurecast. This just shows you there's increasing cloud cover later today. So we have a day that's probably going to be overcast just about all day, if not all day at the beach. The rest of us will see sun until clouds increase a little bit later today. And then we're back into the marine clouds. Look at this solid deck of low cloudiness. All of western Washington, much of western Oregon, certainly in our local area. Could be some mist tomorrow morning or traceable amounts of moisture falling out of those low clouds. It does appear these clouds for some of us could hold. And if that's the case, highs tomorrow may only be in the 60s. And we have more low cloudiness greeting us Thursday morning with a similar day. So a couple gray, cooler days coming up tomorrow and Thursday. Here is the numbers forecast for the beach today. 63 in Astoria and Pacific City. Outside of the gorge, this is another light wind day. Mostly sunny with clouds increasing later in the day out in southwest Washington. It is cloudy right now in Longview, but again, you'll be coming sunny any moment now. You're expected to get up to 81. Out in the gorge, after light winds all day yesterday, westerlies will be back this afternoon, just 10 to 25 though. The Dow is one of the hot spots in the state, expected to reach 91 today. I've got Portland at 83, and then the cooler weather, 70 maybe the next couple of days. And then the developing sun and 75 on Friday. The weekend looks great, 82 Saturday, very similar to today, 86 on Sunday, and then 1, maybe 2 90-degree days to start next week, and that is your update.
All right, Rod, quick look at traffic here at 7:18 in the morning. Traffic map turning a little more orange in some places. The only real red spot we're seeing is at the top of the map there on your screen, the Piedmont area. We're hearing about a possible crash in that area, so we're going to look into that and let you know if anything more turns out. More traffic and more weather in just a few minutes.
A ceasefire between Israel and Iran now in jeopardy after both sides accuses the other of violating it just hours after it went into effect. We'll have the latest about the conflict in the Middle East when Sunrise Streaming at 7 returns in just 2 minutes.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pittawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pittawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team. Tonight on KGW.
weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We're learning more details this morning about a deadly strike in Israel just hours after a ceasefire was supposed to go into effect between Israel and Iran. Israel reports at least 4 people died and a dozen more were hurt after a missile barrage from Iran. That strike came after the initial ceasefire deadline, which was set to begin at 6 o'clock our time last night. Iran, though, firmly denies this report. And according to the Associated Press, Iran claims that Israel violated the ceasefire agreement by continuing strikes after the deadline was in place. While heading to the NATO summit this morning, President Trump expressed his disappointment with the continued attacks.
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning.
So the latest report from NBC says Israel has vowed to refrain from further attacks following a phone call with President Trump. While the back and forth continues there in the Middle East, a Seattle man told our sister station in Seattle that he's trapped right now in Israel. He says he left there for vacation about 2 weeks ago, and now he can't get out.
Hi, everyone. This is my first video that I'm taking of Israel, my 2025 trip.
Randy Kessler from Seattle landed in Israel as planned on June 6th.
I went on vacation. I went to visit friends and see the sights.
But what he didn't anticipate was that he'd still be in the country now, stuck there.
Friday morning, I was in a friend's apartment, and all of a sudden we heard the sirens go off, and the sirens are, loud enough that they jar you. At first, it goes on your phone.
The phone alert looks like this. If there's a threat in your immediate area, air raid sirens blare out.
So this is what it sounds like when an alert comes in. You hear sirens blare across the city, and your phone goes off and starts blaring. So I'm going to get out of here and run.
He went down to the basement of his friend's apartment.
You hoof it down to the sub basement, and you go into what looks like just a bunker.
Kessler hid in a bunker multiple nights in a row, alongside about 25 others.
Just living with the constant threat of missile fire.
He even says the missiles that ultimately struck Soroka Hospital had flown over his head.
And I'm ready to go home.
But Israel's airspace is now closed. So he traveled down to the southern tip of the country.
And then we'll take a flight out of Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt.
In a couple days, he'll be home, possibly alongside others who'd also been visiting.
I got a call today from another parent, 2 parents, a mom and a dad in Seattle, whose son and friend are in the same place that I am, trying to figure out how they can also, come back to the United States.
Your time now is 7:24, and for your morning rush, the Supreme Court has issued a ruling that makes it easier for the Trump administration to deport convicted criminals to countries that they have no prior connection to. The move blocks a federal judge's ruling that people should have a meaningful opportunity to bring up claims that they would be at risk if they were sent to other countries. Affected immigrants can still attempt to bring individual claims about their deportation. A Homeland Security special agent is expected to take the stand again this morning in the Sean Diddy Combs federal sex trafficking trial. The agent is a summary witness, so that means that he can explain how documents like flight records and phone calls line up with travel that support sex trafficking charges. Combs has pleaded not guilty to 5 criminal counts. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has contacted Tesla about new robo-taxis in Austin, Texas. This after online videos allegedly show the taxis using the wrong lanes and speeding on roads. Tesla began a limited robo-taxi service with a dozen or so cars in the city on Sunday. And JetBlue is making it easier to track your bags. The airline is now supporting its Apple AirTags, letting passengers share tracking data if luggage does go missing. JetBlue is also rolling out a new app feature with real-time bag status updates. And that's your Morning Rush. Coming up in our next half hour, we take a look at the controversial proposal some local lawmakers have to change the state's kicker in their goal to fund public education. And later, whether you call them food carts, food trucks, whatever, Yelp seems to love Portland's food scene. We take a look at a few that top the platform's list for best food trucks in the country.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning on a Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. We have clouds at the coast. We have some cloudiness up in Cowlitz County in southwest Washington. Otherwise, we are generally mostly sunny, and this will be another nice day getting up into the 80s, very similar to what we had on Monday. Our live shot down in Salem for you, 59 degrees. Temperatures now on the rise, and here in Portland looking north up I-5. Already sitting at 60. The only spot that will have any noticeable breeze today is out in the gorge. The rest of us will have light winds. Here's the planner, 69 at noon, maybe 70, and then we'll be about 83 at 5 o'clock. We're expecting some increasing cloudiness later today, and that's one reason why the coast, where it's cloudy right now, you folks may not see any sun today. Temperatures will be around 60, but inland areas primarily in the 80s today, including Central Oregon, and Pendleton could hit 91. The Dalles could also hit 90. Here's the 7-day for you. Enjoy today, 83. We have a lot of clouds the next 2 days. That'll hold temperatures down. Could be some touches of light moisture as well. But we start to warm up again on Friday, and I've got 80s and sun this upcoming weekend.
.30 half hour of sunrise, streaming live here on KGW Plus, and we start with a beautiful picture. Lots of pretty pictures out there this morning. Good start to the day. This is the tasting room, the Chehalem tasting room shot from Sherwood.
The barn camera. I like the barn in the view.
It is a beautiful barn.
It is a gorgeous barn.
Nice and red with the white roof, the green trees, the blue skies, the vineyard. What do you say to that, Shiny Green?
Good morning. I didn't know I was surrounded with two boys with some fantastic pipes.
Oh, yeah, we can sing.
Oh, yeah.
We can sing. How about this one, Ron? Take it back.
Do, 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 take it back. Ooh, wah.
He just takes it to here every time, people.
And now he has to do the weather.
Oh, yeah, now it's my turn. Okay, from all of that, which was gorgeous, to this, which may be cloudy all day. This is Chinook Woods Casino Resort in Lincoln City. All the coast cameras show cloudiness, and the deal is there's cloudiness increasing off the Pacific later today. So you folks may not get any sun. If you do, it'll be short-lived. You're at 54 degrees right now. There's the barn shot, again, from the Chehalem Tasting Room in Sherwood. And there's I-5 looking north up between the Convention Center and, of course, the Moda Center. Clear sky start here in Portland. It does not appear we will see any low clouds this morning at all. Here or also up into Clark County, it's still being reported as just sunny. 60 right now, will be 69, maybe 70 at noon, and I have us getting up to 83. There will be some cloudiness increasing later today, but all in all, a very nice summer Tuesday. Traffic time.
Thank you, Rod. Time now is 7:31. A look at your times. I got some problems on I-5 South here. It's in red. Main Street to I-405, 25 minutes is going to take you that way. And then I-205, Patton Parkway, green is go, 12 minutes for that.
Top story here at 7:30 starts with a live look at a National Transportation Safety Board meeting that got underway about an hour ago. I thought we were going to take the live look. We'll get to that look in just a minute, I promise. What we really know today is that we expect a final answer from the meeting regarding who or what is to blame for that door plug blowout over Portland a year and a half ago. Preliminary reports, of course, found 4 retaining bolts were missing from that panel on that Boeing-made plane.
So Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has been watching this morning's meeting and joins us live from the newsroom. So Thomas, what have you heard so far?
Well, guys, the NTSB says there were multiple things that went wrong, leading to this door plug blowing out 16,000 feet over the ground. Now, again, those preliminary reports found that 4 bolts were missing after the aircraft underwent repair work at a Boeing factory in Washington. The NTSB found Boeing inadequately trained personnel and had ineffective management strategies in response to a diminished workforce. Those were just 2 problems in a flurry of issues for the company.
Process instructions for parts removals was overly complex and had a history of compliance issues, including unauthorized removal of items.
NTSB leaders say there was a lack of records from Boeing as well, leading to further challenges. All of this led to a flight that the captain called an explosive experience. The first officer called it, quote, chaos. NTSB Chairwoman Jennifer Homendy says the flight crew initially believed that passengers had actually fallen out of the airplane. It wasn't until they landed that they realized that everyone was safely accounted for.
Every single crew member performed their safety duties with the highest degree of professionalism and competence, remaining calm in the most turbulent of times. They are why all 177 souls on board Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 deplaned safely.
And in this meeting today, NTSB leaders are going over and evaluating some of the steps that those crew members made. It's pretty astonishing to hear some of those recounts of members trying to pull people and making sure that they're safely on board in their seats. Now, Homendy also mentioned that Boeing has made strides since this incident a year and a half ago in their safety, but she adds there's still a lot of challenges in the company's way. Drew, China.
Thomas Schultz live for us this morning in the KGW newsroom. As the Oregon legislative session winds down this week, some local lawmakers are hoping to change the state's kicker.
One proposed bill would slice away some money from the kicker and give it to things like public education. For years, school administrators, teachers, and parents have been trying to get more state funding. Oregon students have long lagged behind in math and reading scores, and parents say that the state has underfunded school systems for decades. Democratic State Representative Mark Gamba says his bill would help boost up the most vulnerable Oregonians.
A big chunk of what we return every year is to the wealthiest Oregonians, people who don't actually need it.
Pollsters say any changes to the kicker will be politically unfavorable, though they do add that if changes are made, the best time to do it is now, with elections more than a year away. Some local Republican lawmakers are responding to a proposal in a federal bill that could put millions of acres of public land up for sale. We first brought you this story last week after environmentalists raised concerns about the proposal.
I think that public lands are set aside to be our national treasures, and I don't think that that should be in a budget bill.
They're worried about natural landscapes being ruined by development or potentially oil or gas drilling. But Washington State Representative Phil Fortunato says there's a provision in the bill that would give states or tribes a shot at buying the land first.
Why in the world would we allow the federal government to maintain control of state lands within our state when we would have the opportunity to have that control locally?
Now, this is part of the Trump administration's Big Beautiful Bill, which is being debated in the U.S. Senate right now. Oregon's DEQ says last month it fined 9 people a total of more than $800,000 for violations. Those violations range from the city of Reedsport dumping raw sewage in state-owned waters to improper management of forfeited drugs in a drug take-back program. You get 20 days after being notified to file an appeal with the state treasury.
All right, a new twist to share, a new twist in the public access to Oswego Lake story. The city of Lake Oswego plans to close the only public access point to the lake over the 4th of July holiday. Access will be closed from Thursday, July 3rd through Monday the 7th. The city is citing safety reasons for the closure, which does not apply to anyone that lives on the lake. Earlier this year, plaintiffs won a long-running legal battle to open up the lake to everyone.
For some reason, the public is perceived as not able to recreate safely, but on all other lakes and rivers and the ocean in Oregon, the public is apparently okay to do that. So I don't know what makes this lake so special and different that the public continually needs to be shut out of it.
We're waiting to hear back from the city for more clarity on why access is being limited during the 4th of July holiday weekend.
4th of July fireworks are now on sale in Oregon, though keep in mind you need to abide by all local restrictions. Fire officials demonstrated some of the legal options in Salem yesterday. These are fireworks that don't explode or leave the ground, so that means no firecrackers, bottle rockets, or mortars. As for what's left, the fire marshal says that use them wisely so you don't start a fire or hurt yourself or others.
Our message is simple today. We want you to be safe, protecting both people, property, and certainly our natural landscapes. That means using fireworks responsibly and understanding those risks.
Fireworks sales begin in Clark County on Saturday, but if you use something legal there, but here in Oregon it's not legal, you could face a fine of up to $2,500. And keep in mind, some municipalities like the city of Portland ban the sale and use of all personal fireworks year-round. For a link to the rules on the Oregon State Fire Marshal's website, text fireworks to 503-226-5088. We'll text you back with a link with what you need to know. All right, headed over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
We have a beautiful day. Hi, everybody. You know, when it's clear out and there's still some snow around this time of the year, the mountain cameras are just gorgeous. This is, of course, Mount Hood from our Timberline camera looking up over the summit, and it is really warmed. 54 degrees is the number up there at 6,000 feet. A lot of our cameras are just perfectly clear. That's the Dundee Hills and the camera at Domain Serene Winery out in Yamhill County. So that is a gorgeous clear sky. And this is a gorgeous clear sky from the Pioneer Park building looking out over the square, not over the Pioneer Courthouse, and it will be this way all morning into the afternoon. We're at 60 degrees right now, so it is just a glorious morning, really. 57 up in Battleground, 58 in Scappoose, 60 in Wilsonville. Everybody on this map is showing sunshine. 62 is your temperature out in Dallas, and down Albany it's 58. Midnight is our KGW dog of the day with the eyes there looking at us. Dog of the day at kgw.com is the email address to send us your photos, your dog's name, and your dog will become our dog of the day. All right, here's a look at this afternoon. We have clouds at the coast right now. Those clouds, I think, will be there pretty much all day long. There's some cloudiness up in parts of Cowlitz County expected to get out of here in the coming hour or so, I believe. Otherwise, it's all sun today with increasing cloudiness here on the west side later this afternoon into the valley. But 80s or better from Portland down to Eugene. I mean, Kelso Longview shows 76 at 5 o'clock. You could hit 80 today. We'll see. Nearing 90 in the Dalles, 91 degrees out in Pendleton, but really most inland areas, as I mentioned, will be in the 80s. Here's the 7-day. Enjoy today, much like yesterday temperature-wise, up to 83. We have cloud cover back and maybe some light moisture falling out of those low clouds on Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow, 60s to about 70, similar on Thursday. And then that pattern goes away. We start to warm up on Friday. I've got 80s for the upcoming weekend. And I am eyeing what would be our third 90-degree day of the year. To start next week, I've got 92 for Monday, and that is your forecast.
All right, Rod, quick look at traffic this hour. Live look right now at the Hawthorne Bridge. We want to show you this because on Sunday, The bridge will be closed to everyone, vehicles, pedestrians, cyclists, from 6 in the morning until 6 at night. They're doing construction work on the bridge, maintenance work on Sunday. They're also going to close it a few times during the course of this week leading up to Sunday. So again, expect lane closures on the Hawthorne Bridge throughout this week as crews prepare for that work on Sunday.
I used to be a very bright guy, and I feel very stupid now having bought this.
So to come on Sunrise, how scammers convinced an 87-year-old Portlander to go to his bank and withdraw thousands. Plus, 7 Portland food trucks making Yelp's list for the top 100 food trucks of 2025. We'll tell you which ones when Sunrise streaming at 7 continues.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
KGW's 6 o'clock news. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pittawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pittawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your evening news team. Watch weeknights at 6 on KGW.
A Portland couple is warning local seniors about a scam that cost them more than $10,000.
So it started with a phone call to the husband, who's 87 years old, saying that he had won a prize through the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. But the prize, he was told, had some conditions. Here's KGW's Alma McCarty with more.
On June 9th, I was flying back from New York, and I couldn't reach him.
Iris kept calling and calling, hoping for the best as she made her way back to Portland, home to her husband.
When I got home, he says, I have good news for you. We won Publishers Clearinghouse. We're going to get a big check. After that, I had a meltdown.
Because, well, she suspected this was, in fact, a scam. Her 87-year-old husband fell victim to a morning phone call.
And the second prize is $850,000 and $150,000 in cash. Additionally, I was going to get a 300 Mercedes SUV.
But in order to make that happen, the caller said they'd need some money first, meeting up with the man at this Chase Bank branch in the Pearl.
Walked in behind me, and I said, how much money do you need? He said, $10,000. I said, what's that for? He said, well, we need people to insure the car, give it license plates, install the plates.
And while that sounded reasonable to him at the time, and he withdrew $10,000 from the bank, even going as far as driving with the scammer to CVS for an envelope and then to the post office to mail it, he soon realized it was too good to be true.
I used to be a very bright guy, and I feel very stupid now having bought this.
Iris wishes the bank teller would have called a manager or in some way intervened.
None of this would have happened. And it's not like he looks like a young man. And there was a man like shadowing him. And were you already starting to get nervous then?
Yes.
Both Portland police and Chase Bank confirming with KGW that they're looking into this case. Detectives working to track down surveillance video that may show the victim with the suspect. The couple hopes those investigating will take the scam seriously.
Everything I've done, I feel I get to a dead end. They go, yes, yes, we noted it, right? And like, get somebody on the phone and say, look, this is what we're going to do for you.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Now, that man, before realizing this was a scam, went to the bank again that day to get another $1,500 to buy gift cards. Because this is such a wide-reaching scam, officials have some red flags to look out for. For example, the Legitimate Publishers Clearinghouse will never call in advance, nor will you ever have to pay to claim a prize.
Yelp released this year's list of the top 100 food trucks in the country, and Oregon ranks third in the nation in terms of states with the highest number of trucks on the list. So there are 15 altogether from Oregon, 7 from the city of Portland. The Portland carts include Habanero Burrito. It's a Mexican food cart. It came in at number 91 on the list.
Hot.
Yeah, hot. It's hot, Rod. But hey, you know what else is hot? Mama Chow's Kitchen. Ooh, Mama Chow's Kitchen serves Asian food known for their garlic noodles. It landed at number 72 on the list. At number 36, also from Portland, we have Bari Food Cart. It's Italian food. There's actually a cart from Portland that made it all the way up to number 15 on the list, but we're going to save that. No, Rod, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, I hate it when you TV people do this.
Well, we're doing it right now. Because I don't have the answer, but I'm told that we will reveal it at 8:30 this morning. So tune in an hour from now right here on Plus for that, number 15 on the list. Some other notes, China and Rod, as we come back out here live this morning. If you're wondering what state has the most food carts on the list, that answer is Hawaii. Hawaii has 25 food carts on this list of 100 best in the country. California came in second. Oregon and Texas tied for third. But the city of Austin beat out the city of Portland in terms of total carts. I think we had 7. We mentioned that. Yeah. Austin has 9 carts on the list. Right. So there you go. The breakdown.
Yeah. There's a, Vancouver's got a growing little number of clusters of food carts, right, and somewhat new, but if you know the area off 99th Street and Highway 99, there's a Fat Dave's and a Bob's Paintland. There's some food carts back there. But there's a pizza place that Grace and I discovered, and they have like a wood fire pizza setup. They give you a buzzer and you can wait for it, in your car or whatever. But it is really good pizza.
Are you typing?
Did you just find it?
I don't know. Were you typing up Fat Dave's or something? What were you doing?
I'm working.
She's working here.
You're working with us. This is the work.
That's my food tip.
The work is happening here.
My food tip.
He said Fat Dave's. I thought an eyebrow of yours would be raised up.
Don't know
nothing.
it. Nope.
No, I know you don't know, but wouldn't you be interested in knowing more about a place called Fat Dave's?
Yeah.
It's been there since I've lived here forever, man. And their parking lot's pretty busy. They got their customers, Fat Dave's. All right, here's a look at our temperature map. These are current numbers, and of course, the big story nationally is the hot weather out east. So what time is it? Coming up on 11 o'clock now on the East Coast in the morning, 91 D.C., 89 New York. Both cities expected to be around 100 degrees with heat indices 105, 110 or better. So there are excessive heat warnings for the east. But here in the west, it's really nice. Denver, 63. These are current temperatures. It's 58 degrees up in Seattle right now. It does appear we'll get 1 to maybe 2 days of hot weather here locally. And this time of the year, when I say hot, I'm generally talking about 90 plus. And we have that showing up the first part of next week. But right now, we're just great. We're mainly clear. We do have low clouds up and down the coast currently. We'll see these clouds spill in a little bit later this afternoon. But for most inland areas, the majority of today will just be mostly sunny. That's the way we are right now. There's our Salem sky camera. They're still doing some work on the state capitol there, as you can see. Temperature outside right now, 59. Winds are calm. There's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha. Beautiful morning out there. 60 degrees is the temperature. Again, no wind. And it will be that way all day. We think calm conditions, much like yesterday. 57 up in Kelso, where there has been a push of some low cloudiness this morning, but that'll be going away. It's 44 out in Baker City and 48 degrees out in Burns. Futurecast just shows the increasing cloudiness later today. And then what I really want to highlight, here's tomorrow's different weather pattern. Back to a couple of mornings with solid low clouds. And the cloudiness we get tomorrow for your Wednesday may not leave. So that means temperatures much of the day tomorrow in the afternoon would stay in the 60s. And there could be some I say traceable amounts, but a little bit of light moisture coming out of those clouds at times. And that pattern potentially repeats itself on Thursday. And then we'll start to warm out of that, it looks like, on Friday and get back into some 80-degree sunshine this upcoming weekend. So that's what I'm watching. Here's our valley forecast for today. Back up low to mid-80s. Shows you folks in Salem getting up to 84. Mostly sunny, light winds, cloudiness increasing later this afternoon. We have the clouds up in Cowlitz County, but not Clark this morning, according to the observations I've been checking. Otherwise, it's sunshine with cloudiness increasing later today, and everybody's expected to at least get up to 80 once again. The gorge had light winds yesterday. The westerlies will be back this afternoon, not overly so, but to 25-mile-per-hour gusts. Hood River 86, the Dalles 91, one of the hot spots in our state. And here's Portland 7-day, 83 today with the sun, 70 or cooler the next couple of days with the low cloud pattern back. And then we have the sun and some warming on Friday. And then Saturday 82, Sunday 86, and we could be back up to 90-degree temperatures on Monday, the final day of June, and maybe on that first day of July. Right now, though, it looks like comfortable temperatures. This could change, obviously, but right now it looks to be comfortable temperatures for your July 4th weekend. Back to you.
You want to go upper deck, Ron? Upper deck. Going upper deck of the Markham Bridge, top deck here. Things moving smoothly. I was about to say slowly, but no, they're moving very smoothly. Zipping right along. Actually, you can get a quick little shot of the lower deck. Traffic moving well there as well. We'll have more traffic. We'll have more of Rod's forecast. We've got more headlines coming your way in the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise, streaming live right here on KGW+. First, though, in 2 minutes, we're going to take a look at a new weight loss drug. New weight loss drugs, as a matter of fact, that don't require an injection. The Sunrise Show, streaming live at 7 o'clock, continues after this.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Welcome back to Sunrise. New innovations in weight loss drugs are in the works, including some that don't require as many injections. Here's NBC's Maggie Vespa with the details.
Major potential breakthroughs in the booming world of weight loss drugs. First, drug maker Amgen trumpeting the early experimental success of Maritide, a longer-lasting GLP-1 injection that patients could take once a month instead of once a week. The regimen typically recommended for Ozempic, Wegovy, and other popular medications.
I have no plans of ever not being on these medications.
The idea of monthly shots welcome news for patients like Chanel Robinson, who's lost nearly 100 pounds using semaglutides.
That would be fantastic for people that are scared to give themselves an injection.
Another possible alternative to weekly injections, Eli Lilly announcing their GLP-1 pill, which would be the first oral weight loss drug, is showing promising results and could be widely available next year. The third major development, a new combination of drugs that researchers say could help patients lose weight without losing muscle mass.
Day 4 of rebuilding the muscle that we lost while taking Ozempic.
Something Robinson says she experienced.
I can feel myself like incredibly weak.
Just to have this growing list of options for these medications, how exciting is that for you as a doctor?
It's like boundless excitement to see how many tools we have in our toolbox to treat our patients. Now, in our future, we're going to have so many different options that can best suit the patient's needs. I mean, it's thrilling.
But still no word on cost or exactly how long it could be before these new drugs reach patients. Maggie Vespa, NBC News.
Coming up new at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with the search for 3 suspected accused in a mob attack at a Washington homeless encampment.
We're also continuing to follow the NTSB's hearing this morning into the Alaska Airlines door plug blowout over Portland. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz will join us with the latest.
But I think we're going to end with something happy, something cute. These little cuties. The Cincinnati Zoo posted this video on X yesterday saying the zoo's otter pups named Ripple, Splash, Puddles, and Scuttle are doing well and bonding with their parents, Munty and Flounder. So we leave you with that, but we have more news coming up in just a few minutes.